So we've all been walking down a dark road at night, maybe thinking we hear something or some kind of noise, or maybe being just extra aware in case something might be hiding out, just for there only to be a stick or an animal or something like that. But what if it wasn't? What if it was somebody hiding and waiting until the perfect time? Or even worse, somebody you've known for your entire life coming to seek revenge for some personal vendetta that they may have against you. People always seem to be so afraid of death, yet this is the thing that serial killers choose to surround themselves with. So right here I have two famous serial killers from popular movies. This is Michael Myers and Hannibal Lecter. Serial killers tend to stay hidden within society. They'll be quiet, shy, they can be loners, or they can be very popular and well-liked with their community. If you ever came face to face with one, it would help to know what makes them tick and what makes them act the way that they do, so that you can have a better understanding of who that person is and maybe be able to defend yourself better. I've been a fan of the mind since I was a kid, especially the mind of killers, because of how different their brain has to be from a normal human's in order to act out in the way that they do. I've done countless hours of research just for the fun and for school on these types of people. So I'm going to give you a glimpse into the mind of serial killers by talking about their brain and life experiences, comparing those to that of a normal person's. And then I'm going to talk about some of the details of some of the world's most notorious serial killers and the crimes that they committed. So let's take a look into the mind of evil. I'm going to start with the differences in their brain chemistry. So there are many genes that make somebody more prone to violence. The main one is the MAOA gene. It's also known as the warrior gene. It helps to break down serotonin and other neurotransmitters. And when there's a defect in it, it can cause a low dopamine turnover rate and make people more prone to violence. There was actually a study that was done on a Dutch family that had an MAOA mutation that was linked to repeated generational violent behavior. Other genes that make people more prone to violent behavior are the COMT, SCL6A4, and DRD4 genes. There was actually a man in 2010 who was convicted of murder and received a lesser sentencing because he was found to possess all four of those genes that I just mentioned. In an article about epigenetics, it stated that during early life, the environment can play a large role in the expression of genes. So in children, this can come out as torturing animals, antisocial behavior, or even arson. And when they get to adulthood, it can come out the same way, or it can be more kind of sinister in the way that they do it, because they might torture humans instead of animals or something like that, and they'll be more hidden in the way that they do it so that they can get away with it. So a lot of serial killers have traumatic life experiences and had rough upbringings. One example of that is a serial killer referred to as JB, who killed 12 people. She was raised by an aggressive alcoholic mother, didn't attend school, was never allowed to go out, and was eventually sold to a man for 3 bottles of beer. In adulthood, serial killers tend to blend in. Like I said, they can be shy, quiet, they could be a loner, or they could be really well liked in their community. They can also maintain jobs and have a family. So one example of that was John Wayne Gacy, who I'm going to talk about later in my speech, but he was a self-made building contractor who had also been married twice, had 2 kids, and was very well liked in his community. So now I'm going to talk about some of the world's most notorious serial killers. I'm going to talk about Harold Shipman, Ed Gein, and again, John Wayne Gacy. So here's Harold Shipman. He was credited with killing 218 people. He was a popular British physician who was believed to have killed 71 of his patients in his first practice, and then double that number in his second. Next is Ed Gein. He killed 11 people, and according to an article called 8 of History's Most Notorious Killers, when police raided his home and searched it, they found human body parts made into household items like chairs or bowls. They found a human torso vest, and he told them that he was trying to recreate his dead mother. And now we'll come back around to John Wayne Gacy. So according to that same article, called 8 of History's Most Notorious Serial Killers, it stated that John killed 33 people. He used to dress up as a clown to entertain children's parties in his community, and when police raided his home, they found 29 dead boys in his crawl space and 4 others that he had disposed in a river. So we always hear about serial killers, which can make it seem like they're everywhere, but the truth is that they're few and far between. This can make it hard to understand them. And after this, I hope that me talking about their brain and life experiences compared to that of a normal person's, and some of the details of the most notorious killers' crimes, that you get a better understanding of what they're like. So next time you're walking down the street at night, you should feel more at ease. Even though whatever you might think you hear or see is probably still just going to be a stick or an animal, in case it's not, you'll be more able to handle that situation by understanding how they work, what makes them tick, why they act the way that they do. It can help you defend yourself if you ever had to. So my next point, before I say it, I want to say that I'm not pro serial killer, but an interesting thought did cross my mind as I was doing this speech. I'm pretty sure all of us have eaten chicken before. We've all on purpose or accidentally stepped on an ant or a spider, or some kids like to pour salt on slugs and stuff like that, which brings up the question as to why it's okay for humans to kill those things, but not other humans. I'd assume it's because since it's our own species, it makes us uncomfortable. But should other things really be allowed to die and others allowed to live just based off of a comfort zone? If we were in the wild, we'd have to kill in order to survive. So doesn't making it illegal go against the laws of nature? Just something to think about. Thank you.